So, I was wrong. What are we doing today? Well, if you haven't read the title, we are talking about how Attack on Titan is not anti-Semitic. And I was wrong and I was misinformed. So, yeah. A couple weeks ago, I believe, I went onto my TikTok and my Instagram to say that I was no longer supporting Attack on Titan and I couldn't support it because it was anti-Semitic. I was wrong, and I'm going to say it out right now. I was so wrong, and I am so sorry to everyone that I actually made believe that Attack on Titan really was anti-Semitic, and I'm going to explain to you why it's not now, okay? And I just want to say that I'm really sorry because, I have a big platform now, okay? I have like 50,000 people on my TikTok who are literally watching me and taking everything I say as like taking everything I say accountable. So I really need to start being more careful about what I say on the internet because now I have such a big platform that I actually need to be careful. So this is why I'm going to come out and say I was wrong, and I'm going to make a full video about how I was wrong, and I'm going to explain to you why what I said back then was just wrong. Keep in mind that, yes, I was misinformed. I was told this by someone else who, as far as I'm aware, I'm going to make that a very big deal. As far as I'm aware, okay? Because I don't actually know if this person is, So, as far as I'm aware, this person who told me this is not Jewish and has never seen Attack on Titan. So, you kind of... I took word from someone who was not even Jewish and has never actually seen Attack on Titan. So, of course I'm not going to say who it was, but I'm just going to say that as far as I'm aware, they are not Jewish and have never seen Attack on Titan. And, I'm not Jewish myself. However, I do have a Jewish friend who, supports Attack on Titan, actually. And, if they support Attack on Titan, then obviously they don't think it's anti-Semitic. So, yeah. And I myself have actually seen all of Attack on Titan, because not only did I watch the anime like 2 times, but I read all of the manga like 5 freaking times, bro. Like, come on, did I really believe... I'm so sorry, just... Okay, we're gonna get into why I think... No, I'm gonna get into why I know Attack on Titan is not anti-Semitic. Where to begin? So I'm sorry for laughing, I shouldn't laugh, but anyways. I guess I'm gonna start off how I guess that people somehow came up with the conclusion that Attack on Titan is anti-Semitic. So I personally think that people basically got the idea that Attack on Titan is anti-Semitic by looking at not what is going on necessarily, but more like they took a quick look. Oh, jeez. They took a quick look at what was going on in Attack on Titan, and that's all they went with. Like I personally think that people who are assuming Attack on Titan is anti-Semitic have never actually seen Attack on Titan, let alone read the manga. So I'm going to show my tablet here that shows 2 articles, 2 completely different articles. That one explains why Attack on Titan is anti-Semitic and another explains that it's not. Now keep in mind, the one that is saying it is was at the very top of Google, which I thought was so weird. And I thought it was so weird that oh jeez, I got hair in my face. I thought it was so weird that I was at the very top of Google when you search up Attack on Titan anti-Semitism, which I don't understand why, because this article is so baseless and it is so wrong. It's just so wrong. Like, when I read this, I can't even believe that when I was looking up that Attack on Titan was anti-Semitic, that I actually believed it for a minute. Like, oh my god, what was I thinking? So I think a lot of people actually now think Attack on Titan is anti-Semitic because of this article, and I'm going to show you why it's not and why this article is just wrong. So, yes, it is the Polygon article where the title is just the fastest subtext the fastest subtext of Attack Titan can't go overlooked. The story's twist exposes the ugly side of the manga and anime. So I should probably mention that I did go on Twitter to see if Tom Spielman was even liked, or to go through his Twitter and see stuff like that. Apparently now he's kind of infamous in the Attack on Titan community because of his baseless accusation. So, and people are just pretty much joking around on how, like, you know. So I'm gonna read this word for word. Alright, I'm gonna read it all the way through. So, let's begin. The modern manga and anime industries would not exist without Attack on Titan. Without Hajime Isayama's dystopian series and its massive global fan base, Crunchyroll would have remained a curiosity instead of global streaming powerhouse and anime production partner it has become. Okay, we're already off to a great start. Great start. So, first off, I highly doubt that Crunchyroll would have never began if it wasn't for Attack on Titan. Personally, if Attack on Titan never existed, Crunchyroll probably still would have been a thing, because it wasn't just Attack on Titan that made it out to what it is. It was hundreds of mainstream, just a whole bunch of mainstream anime that made it what it is. Like Naruto, Dragon Ball Z, all of the good stuff, you know? All of like the big anime is what made Crunchyroll a thing. And especially anime that the Western community loves. Like, we're eating this shit up. Like, come on. So, I personally think that, you know, I kind of know that if Attack on Titan was never a thing, Crunchyroll would have still been a thing. Come on. So, alright, let's continue. Similarly, without rights to the anime, which concludes its third season this month, this article was made in June 18, 2019, by the way. Netflix certainly would have become a big enough player in the anime market to license all of Neon Genesis Evangelion. I don't know if that's true or not, but anyways. Ditto Adult Swim, which licensed Funimation's Attack on Titan dub for its Saturday night Toonami block, a revival of his beloved after-school anime block, and saw its fortunes rise so highly that I can't speak. So highly that Adult Swim was able to produce 2 follow-up seasons to the legendary anime. Yeah, I suppose so. Of course, at the same time, though, I do actually go onto Toonami every now and again, so I would know this, but Toonami also produces other dub versions of its anime, so it's not just Attack on Titan. They've done JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, a whole bunch of Dragon Ball Z for some reason, Naruto, Shippuden. I don't know why I forgot the word for a second. I'm pretty sure they've also done Boruto, so, you know, it's not just Attack on Titan. But anyways, I guess that really isn't the point, now is it? So, but recent events with the manga have given readers pause. In particular, the major twist of series, as well as what's been occurring since then, has drawn some uncomfortable parallels in global anti-Semitism, far-right Japanese politics. Oh, Jesus. Jeez. Isayama's own personal politics. So, apparently there's an editor's note. Let's read it. This article contains spoilers for both. Okay, yeah. It contains spoilers, obviously. So, yeah, keep in mind this video is going to contain lots of spoilers. So, I mean, I'm going to explain to you why Attack on Titan is anti-Semitic. I'm not going to hold back with the spoilers. So, because at this rate, spoilers is like what we need to worry about a lot less. Danganronpa community. Anyways, while aimed at a slightly older audience than the big 3 manga / anime of the early 2000s, Bleach, Naruto, and One Piece, Attack on Titan has made many more anime fans out of casual watchers, arriving as it did with the crest of YA dystopian fiction wave in the West. Okay, this part I do actually have to agree with. Attack on Titan is what got me into anime, okay? It's what really pushed me into anime. Now, of course, it wasn't the first anime I've ever seen, but it's really what pushed me into the anime scene. So, and I do also have to mention real fast that, you know, I told everyone this. Attack on Titan is a big comfort anime for me. Like, I love Attack on Titan. Like, I love it to death. I love it to pieces. And I love that Hajime Isayama has made such a great piece of artwork. Like, you know, of course I've never seen, like, you know, Isayama's Twitter and stuff like that. So I'm sure, like, I am a little bit biased. I will admit I'm a bit biased on Hajime Isayama. All I have to say is that his story writing and art is fantastic. It's all fantastic. Now, of course, I can't say anything about his political beliefs because I don't actually know what his political beliefs is, so we're just gonna leave that part out. All I'm gonna say is that his art in this anime he's made is just French kiss. So, but anyways, let's continue now. So, I do actually have to agree Attack on Titan is what got me into anime, so this part is not totally incorrect. But the rest of it is, and I'm going to explain to you why. So, while that fever has died off from its circa 2014 high point, the series still has plenty of devoted followers, aka me. So, who snap up every single video game, spin-off, and parody manga. So, I mean, dead as, I watched all of Attack on Titan Junior High, I read all of the manga, come on, how could I not? So, there's an original comics anthology, I'm actually gonna skip this paragraph right here because it's not as important, so, at least not for the video, so, but as any long-running manga, the closer you get to its endgame, the easier it is to see what the message of the series really is. And the message of Attack on Titan appears to have anti-Semitic and pro-fascist leanings. And I'm going to explain to you why that is wrong. You see, I'm going to bring up the manga now. So, I'm going to bring up its most recent manga that I have so far, which is volume 31. So, yes, I own all of the manga. When I said I was an Attack on Titan fan and I loved it to pieces, I wasn't fucking kidding. Like, so, yes, we had the 31st manga, or 31st volume, and so, you know, so, as it's obviously spoiler warning, in this manga, obviously we're starting to get to the part where, you know, it's starting to come to its close. So, shit is going down. Like, shit is really going down. So, you know, shit is just happening. Like, oh lord, Eren is really getting this close to just wiping out an entire race. So, aka the Marlians. But I guess that's why people are not looking at the bigger picture, because all they see is Eren trying to kill all of the Marlians and trying to make it seem that Eren is the bad guy because he's an Eldian and shit like that. But I'm about to explain to you why you're so wrong. Because that is not what I'm going to explain it right now, actually, because that is not what is the message that Isayama is trying to tell you guys. Yes, that is what Eren is trying to do, but that's not the message, and that's not what we're supposed to be focusing on. Well, it is, but let me explain to you. So, obviously, there's this page right here. You know, it's all... So, it says right here, the Titans of the Walls will thunder across the world, every land beyond this island. Their rumbling feet will snuff out every life in those lands. And by those lands, we mean the lands that the Marlians are a part of. As you can see right here, you obviously would think, you know, yeah, that seems pretty bad. Why would you do that, Eren? You're already thinking, like, you know, yeah, Eren, that seems kind of bad. No. Then you already kind of know that Attack on Titan really isn't anti-Semitic, because that's the message that Isayama is trying to send you. Because all of the good guys that, you know, obviously we're supposed to believe are good guys, and that is, we're trying to really make out to be the good guys, know that this is wrong and are trying to stop Eren from doing it. Like, come on, there's the last few pages here, which I did in fact make a key point. Because, yeah, we're literally at the end scene, the very last page. So, obviously, spoiler warnings. We're here with Connie, Annie, Armin, Mikasa, and then there's also Faye, and I think his name was Ben. Fuck, I forgot. They're literally here in the last page saying to save the world to fucking, Rainer. And what are they gonna do to save the world? Obviously, they're going to stop Eren, because killing an entire race is bad. So, if this was really as anti-Semitic as people are saying, this would not be in the eyes of the good guys, aka Connie and Armin and Mikasa and them. And it would be in the eyes of Eren and how he is perceiving things. Because obviously Aaron thinks, you know, if we wipe out all of the Marleyans, we won't have to worry about the Eldians being treated like shit. And obviously that's not what's going on. We are in the eyes of Armin, Mikasa, Connie, Annie, all of them. We are in the eyes of them, and we are seeing that what Aaron is doing is bad. And that alone is why Attack on Titan is not anti-Semitic. But anyways, we're still going to continue in case you still don't believe me. So obviously we're done with this now. But I might as well read the article before I get off track. Anyways, so obviously it explains the big twist with Attack on Titan and how we finally go to the basement and that humanity is not as little as they thought. So because there are much more people out in the big world. It is not just the people inside the walls that are left. There are more people out there. So, and that is answered in kind of, not in the recent manga, but like more so in like this volume right here, but I'll get to this volume in a second. Give me a minute. So now we're gonna get on to the part of the article where it says the good, the bad, and the very, very bad. And I'm going to, oh boy, let's just get into it. So despite being wowed by Studio WIT's dynamic visuals and undeniably badass first opening theme song, oh yes, the opening theme song. Mwah. Chef's kiss right there. Anyways, I acknowledge Isayama has some strengths. For one thing, his pencils are filled with pure energy, and his inks are very good at capturing the pure horror that envelops the characters time and time again. For another, the tension successfully generated before each plot twist is inviolable. All these elements are only emboldened in I cannot speak, oh my god. Kodansha's comics English language release, with Ko Ransom and Sheldon Derska's, I probably said that wrong, I'm so sorry, nuanced translations and legendary Steve Wan's potent lettering. The well-dressed aesthetics and pacing can only do so much before you start to notice the ideas bubbling underneath the surface. Now, I do have to agree, Attack on Titan is getting quite political, but that doesn't mean it's automatically anti-Semitic or that it's automatically wrong or bad or problematic, so to say. Because, you know, I'll get into it in a minute. Just let me finish this article. Isayama's work is full of anti-Korean, nationalist, pro-Japan subtext, parallels to anti-Semitic conspiracy theories, and subtextual references to Nazi Germany. Now, I do have to admit, there are some nods to Nazi Germany and stuff like that. But does that automatically make it anti-Semitic? No, it does not. Because obviously, the main key points that we can see here is that, you know, the Eldians are forced to wear armbands, just like the Jews were in Nazi Germany, at least from my understanding. For one thing, there's so-called pure titans. This is a random titans that menace our characters throughout the series. Nude, creepily smiling cannibals, these pure titans are mindless, not even needing to eat to live so much as for fun. Many of them had grotesque and exaggerated features, from short arms to giant heads to large noses. So, and there's Eldians living in ghettos wearing star-embroidered armbands. So, obviously you can see that the Titans are very grotesque in this article. It's very dark, hang on. I'm gonna turn the screen all the way up. As you can see, they are very grotesque, very, I don't even know how to say it right. But to be honest, I can kind of see why people would say, you know, oh my god, the Titans are Jews because they have big noses. Here's the thing. There are still plenty of Titans in the series that have very little noses. Like, for example, I'm just going to show you a whole bunch of examples right here. There are still plenty of Titans with small noses. And honestly, from seeing all of Attack on Titan and stuff like that, I can see why people would say, like, you know, oh, the Titans are the Jews, supposedly, because they have big noses. Well, that's not only, like, a bit of a baseless and kind of a stretch, but there are plenty of other things, like, you know, there are plenty of Titans with small noses, and honestly, if the Titans were not as grotesque and they looked more, you know, so-called normal, they wouldn't be as terrifying. Like, I'm gonna be honest, they just look like big fat people who eat other people, and that would not be as terrifying, to be honest. Because obviously you can see why Hajime Isayama chose to make them so grotesque and stuff like that, and to make all of their features, like, you know, very exaggerated or under exaggerated, or yeah, very exaggerated actually. You know, from like the little bodies to the big heads, you know, stuff like that. You know, obviously the Attack on Titans are grotesque to be scary and stuff like that. And the fact that the Titans are the Jewish people are is in that it's automatically anti-Semitic is a bit of a stretch. So anyways, let's continue though. So for another, military might is presented as the strongest, truest power of all. I don't know about you, but that's also a little bit of a stretch, because obviously there have been plenty of moments in Attack on Titan where the people are like, you know, still in a bit of a power. They're still like, you know, they still have a say in things, you know, because I'm pretty sure in part of the manga people were like, you know, kind of getting after the Survey Corps because of like a giant baseless rumor spread by a newspaper company. Blah, blah, blah. And they were able to prove the newspaper company wrong, obviously, but of course the Service Corps had to like stand down for a little bit because the people were getting pissed off at them. So obviously the military is not the strongest. The people still have a say in shit. If the military was like supposedly, you know, in power of everyone, they would tell everyone to shut the hell up and let us do our job. And obviously that would be bad. So, but that's not what happens. Obviously, they obviously stand down and they try to find out who is spreading these false rumors, to which they find out who, and they prove them wrong to the public, and the public is just like, oh, okay, they're wrong. All right, we trust the military now. I mean, that's basically what happened. So anyways, let's continue, because we're getting off track now. So anyways, this goes far and beyond the typical theme in Japanese action media of the group of friends banding together, doing their best in changing the world. Frequently, the military, particularly the Survey Corps that Eren and the rest of the main cast belong to, is presented as full of pure rational decision makers and unquestioned commanders. Not necessarily. I mean, if you've seen Attack on Titan, bro, you would know that's so wrong. Like, come on. There have been plenty of moments in Attack on Titan where the Survey Corps are definitely not good decision makers. They have made some pretty bad decisions themselves plenty of times. Plenty of times. Oh my god. I can't even exaggerate to you how many times they have made some pretty wrong decisions. So... So they are definitely not unquestioned commanders or pure rational decisions like this article is making it seem. So the clearly unhinged soldiers like Titan researchers Zoe Hanji and the goofball Sasha Blouse are mocked, but the certitude that they should lead is never interrogated. I don't know. I don't really see it. Like, with me knowing how much I know about Attack on Titan, that's kind of wrong. Like, bro, where do you get these? Like, do you just get these accusations out of your asshole? Like, come on. Clearly you have not seen the manga. Like, I can already tell that. So, stepping back from the text itself to what Isayama has said about the text, there are all sorts of uncomfortable parallels to real world history, obviously. I can admit that, yes, there are plenty of parallel World War histories involved in Attack on Titan. Does that make it problematic? No, it does not. But anyways... In 2010 blog post, Isayama, who has always maintained the series, was inspired by an incident where he was accosted by a large, drunk foreign man at a cafe. Yeah, that's pretty much how Attack on Titan came to be. So, he's not entirely wrong. Actually, no, wait. What? Isn't this wrong? Like, it wasn't in a cafe, wasn't it? Wasn't Isayama, like, supposedly working as, like, a cash register at a grocery store? Admitted that a supporting character, Willie General Doc Pixis, was based off a real-life Japanese general Akiyama Yoshifuru. Sorry if I said that wrong. But anyways, yeah, that's true. Doc Pixis was, in fact, based off of an actual Japanese general. So, you know. Who served the Japanese Imperial Army from 1916 to 1923. Considered a hero in Japan. with Isayama admitting he found the general an admirable figure. For his actions in the First Sino-Japanese War, Yoshifuru was responsible for countless atrocities against Korea and China during Japanese occupations. As the popular advice blog Ask a Korean detailed in 2007 said, anti-Korean atrocities continued long after Yoshifuru's retirement, included the murder of then Empress Myeongseong, sorry if I said it wrong, rioting and massacring of thousands of Koreans living in Kanto after the Great Kanto earthquake of 1923, and the notorious comfort woman, what? For the hundreds of thousands of Korean women and girls who were kidnapped and used as sex slaves with the Japanese army, something widely acknowledged by everyone but the Japanese government. With obviously different cultures, but, you know, obviously that was wrong. But anyways, I don't know if Isayama's actually ever said Yoshifuru was a good guy, so, you know, that one is a bit of a so I don't know about that part, but I don't know if Hajime Isayama has ever actually said he was a good guy. I've never seen that before, but I guess I wouldn't know because I don't follow his Twitter or anything like that. Where did this guy get this idea anyways? Like, where did he get the idea that Hajime Isayama said he was a good guy? But anyways, whatever. So, with that and the earlier centuries' long history of hatred between Japan and Korea, small wonder, oh Lord, I cannot speak. Small wonder then that when Isayama revealed Yoshifuru was an inspiration and got into a Twitter flame war where he appeared to deny it, the notorious Nanjing massacre, he was swarmed by death threats from Koreans. For its part, China simply banned Attack on Titan outright. Wait, is he saying that China banned Attack on Titan for its anti-Semitism? Which is wrong, actually. I'm pretty sure Attack on Titan was banned by China long before Eren even went to the basement and discovered that humanity is a lot larger than what they thought. Because I'm pretty sure China banned Attack on Titan because of how gory it was. Not because it was anti-Semitic or anti-Korean or Chinese or something like that. Then there's the ultimate goal of the Jaegerists, who incidentally have a very fascist uniform sensibility, being to re-establish the Eldian Empire and take their bloody revenge on the world. So, given the unavoidable implied parallels between Eldians and Marley and the Jews in Nazi Germany, the eventual apocalypse that the manga seems to be building toward is subtextually like something out of Alex Jones' Darkest Ravings. That is to say, it's not hard to draw the line between the Jaegerists, who Eren incidentally seems to tactfully endorse, plan on laying waste to the world, and the much-beloved right-wing talking point that the Jews, or as they dog whistle, globalists, either are already secretly controlling the world or are plotting to, through finances, Hollywood, or whatever BS that leaks out of their demented heads this week. Okay, I think I'm gonna get into the manga bits now, because I can already say that's fucking wrong. Anyways, so I did in fact bring up some key points in Attack on Titan, as you can see with these notes right here. So we're gonna get into the manga where Eren made it to the basement and shit, aka volume 21. So, and we're gonna get to the part where we go in depth onto Grisha Jaeger, aka Eren's father, and his past. So, you know, made a key point right here. Just gonna set that there. We start getting down to Grisha Jaeger's past and, you know, stuff like that. And already right off the bat, we're at the part where we can see, like, you know, Grisha and his sister Faye, I'm pretty sure is her name. Yeah, Grisha and his sister are forced to wear armbands, which you can already, right off the bat, we're already, like, off to parallels to Nazi Germany and stuff like that. But does that automatically make it anti-Semitic? Of course it doesn't, but we're gonna get into it. So, anyways, I'm gonna read these pages out loud, at least this page right here. So, as I considered where I ought to begin, the day came unbidden to my mind. The day in my youth when I was forced to face this truth of this world. So, hang on, let me go to the previous page where we began. So, basically, there's Grisha's mother, you know, and, So, Grisha's mother basically tells the kids, haven't I told you to always have your armbands on when you go outside? Grisha, you must absolutely not go past the walls, okay? Because obviously they're gonna fucking die, but anyways, we'll get really into that. Just give me a minute. So, let's go next to a key point. So, here's something that everyone really got pissed off and was going straight off the bat that Attack on Titan was anti-Semitic, and here's where we begin with that. So, as you can see in the manga, if we're on the same page as I'm at right now, you can see that Grisha and his sister are like, Grisha and Faye go and check out, and then they notice like a huge ass blimp in the air. At least that's what I think it's called. And obviously they see it and they're like, oh my god, that's so cool, because they're little kids, come on. And they can't go past the walls, and that was obviously stated by the mother, and the blimp goes over the walls, and now they can't see it anymore, and they get kind of sad. So, not really sad, but like, obviously they can't see it anymore. But anyways, let's notice something that Faye says here. So, after the blimp goes by over the walls, Faye is just like, wow, I hope I get rich someday so I can ride an airship. To which Grisha says, what are you talking about? There's no way any of us could ever become rich. And Faye says, yeah, but I just wish. I wonder what you could see from up there. So, I think I can already see that Faye and Grisha do not get to be rich simply because they are Eldians, and yeah. So, you can already see, like, oh, that's kind of sad. They don't ever get to be rich and see an airship and stuff like that, which, I guess for some people it'd be like, wow, that seems kind of greedy, but at the same time, like, they don't get to do fucking anything. They don't ever get to be rich or anything. They have to live in the ghetto and be poor. So, that's all. They're forced to live that way. So, already you can see, like, they're treated pretty poorly where they live. So, but let's continue in case you still don't see what I mean when I say Attack on Titan is not anti-Semitic. So, obviously you see right here that, the airship is gone, or the blimp, I don't know, airship, let's call it an airship. It goes over the walls, they're like kind of sad, but Grisha suddenly gets the great idea to grab his sister Faye by the hand and drag her to go across these gates to which they're not supposed to go to. I'm gonna make that very obvious, they're not supposed to be there. So, and let's just continue. So, anyways, Grisha, mentions that his teacher says that, they have to land in a place nearby, and it's past the walls. So, he takes his sister with, and they go past the gates, past the guards, and stuff like that. Obviously, they're not supposed to, because the guards are like, hey, stop that, you're not supposed to do that, stop it, get over here. But obviously they do it anyways, because, they're little kids, come on, they want to see where this airship goes, they want to see it. They're little kids, they want to explore shit, come on. So, yeah, and then they go and find the airship, and it, like, lands and stuff like that. So, anyways. I actually want to mention something. I was about to skip it, but it's kind of important. So, this is why we're not going to skip it. So, obviously they're already in the city. No one's wearing armbands but these two. And you can already kind of see that these are the Marlians that are supposed to be, well, kind of nodding that they're supposed to be the Nazis, So, and you can already, this poor kid, I'm just gonna read it off right here. One of the people who are not wearing the armbands, basically the Marlian, like he's a Marlian, but anyways, Grisha didn't even do shit. He was just sitting here with his sister, and this dude comes up, like bumps into him and says, "Move, you vermin." He literally says that, "Move, you vermin." And he talks with this other dude saying, "A couple of devil-blooded brats. What are they doing crawling around here?" I think we can already tell that the Marlians are bad people. Well, not necessarily, but that's how they're painted to be. Which, I think you can already see here that it's not anti-Semitic, but we're still gonna keep going anyways, because there's still plenty of points I want to make it very obvious that Attack on Titan is not anti-Semitic. But anyways, Yeah, they're treated like shit. So, as you can see right here, that's what happens. So, I suppose I could also bring up a screenshot on screen, but anyways, I'm just gonna show it here. Because, there's obviously going to be people saying like, oh, you edited the manga pictures. Obviously I didn't, so I'm going to show you right here, straight from the manga. So anyways, Grisha and his sister are like, what the hell, that was rude, and Grisha mentions like, it's okay, that always happens, right? So, so I guess you can already like, not already see, but you kind of get the idea that like, they're kind of used to being treated, not kind of used to it, but like, they're a little bit used to being treated like this by the Marleyans. So, they go and find the airship. We're gonna get back on track. They already find the airship and stuff like that, and this is where another key point comes in. So they run into these guards, which are supposed to be the Marleyans. So, and yeah. So, they're asked by these guards to show their exit permits, because obviously they walked through the walls when they weren't. And they supposedly weren't supposed to. They noticed there are armbands, they asked for their exit permits, because obviously they need one if they want to come here. And they don't have one. So the guards are like, what? So they're like, you entered the city without authorization. You know what that means for you, right? That's like a straight word from one of the guards. So, and he kneels down to Grisha and his sister and asks, which will it be, labor or punishment? That's a key thing you gotta remember here, okay? Labor or punishment. And Grisha chooses punishment, to which Faye's just like, what? So, and then the guard mentions, like, don't want to worry your parents, and, Grisha's just like, no, sir. I also forced my sister to come here, so please punish me in her place, too. And the guard's like, alright. If you still don't see my point, come on. Like, what? To which he immediately goes to kneeling Grisha in the fucking stomach. Like, he immediately goes to that. So, and, he obviously does it some more, because he's like, one more. And the other guard's like, I can't believe it, you're merciless, Kruger. Come on, little girl, let's get you home first. Remember that. And he takes Faye away. Remember that. I want you to remember that. So, the other guard that has Grisha now is just like, it was smart of you to keep your armbands on. Any alien that takes off out here gets sent straight to your heaven, even kids like you. Basically meaning that they can fucking get killed for taking their armbands off. I think you could see the parallels, but anyways. You came to see the airship, didn't you? You're here, might as well see it. So, yeah, he obviously found it, and we see here, they watch it, stuff like that. Okay, and we're given a narration point in a box right here where it says, Grisha says, when I get home, my little sister wasn't there. He says it right there. Grisha mentions she was found in the river the next day. Dead. She was found in the river the next day, dead. And the guard that took her with visits Grisha and the mother and his father. And he mentions to the parents, as I've told you over and over again, I took her to the border of Liberia and no farther. I had work to do. And it was her fault to begin with. An Eldian child shouldn't be wandering around town without permission. It seems that your son doesn't understand what it means to be of his bloodline. You've been teaching him about the ills committed by your ancestors, haven't you? If that's not enough, then throw a collar on him. I knew that this man from Marley Public Security Authorities was lying. He'd been skipping out on his job and sleeping by the riverside. He can't have been that busy. My mother was overwhelmed with sorrow, while my father, and the father mentions, thank you very much for your guidance. Rest assured, I will be sure to teach my foolish sons his lessons once again. Demeaned himself in front of these men. I looked at them, my father and this man, and I began to hate them so much that it made me dizzy. But even more than that, I cursed my own foolishness. As the father was teaching, or more like reteaching his son this, Grisha mentions, that man was lying, and by that man he was talking about that one guard. He lied because the truth was inconvenient for him. Didn't I tell you our ancestors were heinous criminals? They believed in eugenics and committed genocide. devil's blood runs through our veins. If you didn't look at the big picture and only read from that basic standpoint, and that was all that was left in the book, then yeah, I'd be like, yeah, it's a little anti-Semitic. But that's not what happens, because immediately right after, Grisha yells at his father and says, I didn't do any of that, and neither did Faye. All we did was go for a walk. And that's exactly what they did. All they did was go for a walk to see an airship. And Faye got brutally murdered for it. The world is unfair and insane. And you can see in this one panel right here, he's being treated shit like by the Marleyans. And they're seen here throwing a bottle at him for simply just existing. Like, come on. He's sitting here doing his work, labor work. And the other dudes are basically treating him like shit. And when I said, Faye was brutally murdered, I mean she was brutally murdered. Faye was literally, fucking killed by dogs by these guards. Like, brutally. Like, this poor girl, all she did was want to see an airship past the walls. Of course, her brother, like, took her along with it, but anyways, that's all they did. They wanted to see an airship, and they got to see it, but, you know, the sister got killed for it. Because all they did was simply walk around town without an exit permit. These are children, mind you. And this poor child got brutally murdered by these Marleyans. If you still don't get it, the big picture that Hajime Isayama is trying to tell people is that the Marleyans are the bad people, aka the Nazis, and the Eldians are the good people, aka the Jews. If Attack on Titan was as anti-Semitic as people were saying, they would paint Marleyans to be the good guys and the Eldians the bad guys. But that's not what's going on here. What's going on here is that the Eldians are being painted as good people who are just simply trying to live out their life. And they're getting killed for it. I know I kind of like left the Polygon article, but you know, it's just fucking stupid. I want to also get on to another key point because this video is getting very long. We're now on to a key point in the manga, or this volume, where Grisha got caught by the Marleyans for planning to bring Eldia back to power. This is obviously grown-up Grisha, by the way. And they're now him and his, those that were with him, they're now about to be executed, as you can see here, by the Marleyans. One of Grisha's people is like shoved down there by one of the Marleyans. He's basically there for bait. And you'll see how that is. So, and one of the guards, who I'm pretty sure is the one that brutally murdered Faye, says, we got a bunch of them today, so let's get this going. And then they get these needles out and put these fluids in these guys. And then they push them down onto past this wall and stuff. To which they immediately turn into Titans. Like, just downright immediately. And you can already see that this dude right here is still alive. What do you know? The Titans see him. And they go and fucking kill him. Like, because obviously Titans are gonna eat people. They see a person, they're like, oh, get it. And they go and kill him. So it's brutal. It's so brutal. So obviously Grisha's just like, no, stop. But obviously they don't understand him. They go and kill him. And obviously there's a woman last who is Grisha's girlfriend or wife. I'm not really sure which it is at this point. Oh, and then the guard was just like, oh, a woman next? What a waste. If only she didn't have devil's blood in her. I don't mean to laugh, but I think you can already kind of get the idea that, you know, women are also being treated like shit in this time, because obviously this is in the past. Women don't have rights, so, or at least not as much as men, so, you know, chances are if this guy was like, you know, if this girl didn't have devil's blood in her, I'd probably take her myself and do whatever I want with her, so, because obviously he's a terrible person. This poor woman, you know, Grisha mentions, like, you know, there's royal blood inside of her, which there is. But they don't fucking care. And he's forced to be silenced, too, by this guy. They force him to shut up when he says that there's royal blood in her. Then they put this fluid inside this woman and push her down. Immediately turns into a Titan. And if you can't tell, this is the same Titan that killed Aaron's mother. So, plot twist. Oh, I also want to mention something. I don't know about you, but this Titan's nose seemed kind of small if you don't see it. I do, but... Anyways, down to this guard and what he says. Krisha asks him, like, why are you doing this? To which the guard, I'm gonna make this very clear. The guard says, why? You want to know why? Because it's fun. Why else? It's fun to watch humans get eaten by monsters. Sure, there may be a few who don't want to see it, but most people like watching brutality. And my sons always learned something watching their dogs tear apart your sister. It built character. These Marlians are painted to be shitty people. If you have a good understanding of what's right from wrong, this dude is a terrible person for making it seem like this was right. Cause, you know, as you can see, he made his sons watch this shit. He made his sons he's made his sons watch his sister get brutally killed by dogs. That is awful. I don't know about you, but I would feel awful. Like, holy shit. Like, when I first read this, I was like, damn, dude, you are sick. So, I don't know about you, but I can already tell this dude's terrible. He's a Marlian and he's painted to be a terrible person. If Attack on Titan was really as anti-Semitic as people are saying, he would be painted as a good guy, but he's not. He's literally painted to be a terrible, terrible person. This is the last key point I want to make in the manga. Another thing that Marlians do that's just so terrible, in case it still doesn't get to you, is that, you know, these Marlians decided to brutally burn alive, by the way, members of the royal family. And by the royal family, I mean, like, the Eldians. And, like, look at this. This is awful. They, like, just straight up brutally burn them alive. And that's the last key point I want to make now. I don't know if you get it by now, but Attack on Titan really is just not anti-Semitic, because the Marlians, who are supposedly supposed to be Nazis, are painted as terrible people. If Attack on Titan was really pro-fascist, the Marlians would be painted as good people, to which they're not. They're painted as terrible, terrible people. And that's why this Polygon article right here is just so wrong, because this dude is just straight up not looking at the bigger picture. So, and if you have actually seen Attack on Titan and read the manga, you would know. But I showed you spoilers now, so in case you're not interested in reading Attack on Titan or watching it, but you still somehow think that Attack on Titan is pro-fascist or anti-Semitic, then I suggest that you just at least read and watch Attack on Titan, because you will be pleasantly surprised to know that Attack on Titan is not what people or some people are making it out to be. So, I'm gonna end this video now. So, thank you guys for watching. Hopefully next time we can have a better video. Thank you guys for watching. I'm gonna spend forever editing this video. And have a lovely day. Drink plenty of water. Research topics before you talk about them, please, okay? That's all for now. Bye-bye, guys.